What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Hope everybody's doing excellent. The weekend is here. The NFL draft is flying by. Want to thank everybody that's been joining us the last couple nights on the streams. We've had an absolute blast. We know that there are many other things you could be doing, draft parties, other streams, other channels. And for you guys to sit there and hang out with us it's just been a lot of fun, to be honest with you. So going into the draft, there's a lot of anticipation. What is Joe Douglas going to do? Is he going to build around Zach Wilson? Can he get game-breaking talent? What is the plan going to be? Will he be aggressive? All these different things. And 2 days in, you cannot be more excited as a Jets fan. It's impossible. You wake up fired up. You want to throw on your jersey, your hat, and walk around proud and be like, listen, this Jets team's going in the right direction. And you can just feel the energy, man. There's legitimate energy with the fan base, the team, the general manager, the coach. And that, to me, is where it starts. Like, Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh are clearly on the same page. They have a very good working relationship. And that speaks volumes, and that helps with productivity. That helps when you're trying to, just get your system in place, get the players in place. It's just, you see it, and like year one with Joe Douglas in the draft room, like everybody looks somber, and like you're like, oh man, it's the same old like business-like attitude. Last year, you see this influx of just passion and pride and energy, where it's like they're just getting after it now. Like you're seeing their personalities. And you see when he gets off the phone, he's like, let's go, and Saleh's there, and that vibe feeds off to the players. Like you feel it, and that's how you change your culture, to be honest with you. That's how you make your mindset, you make your locker room. So you have that great symmetry within the front office and the coaching staff. Then you go into the draft, and everybody kept saying, we all keep saying it, build around Zach Wilson. You got to give the kid playmakers. You got to put him in the best position to succeed, and the Jets are doing that. Now, what happens on paper doesn't always necessarily translate to the field, but they are doing their due diligence, and they're putting all the pieces there. So yesterday you go in there, everybody's talking about Nakobe Dean, get a safety, get all these things, and I completely understand it. I was guilty of it myself because, last year our defense was terrible. In theory, our offense is being addressed, but you want to add athletes. But then sometimes you forget that the Jets had a lot of young players last year they were trying to incorporate, and a lot of them got hurt. Your Jamie and Sherwoods, you have Pinnock back there, a lot of other guys, Nasruddin. They have a lot of pieces there that maybe they're trying to figure out. So they said, you know what, we're going to keep focusing on offense, which at the end of the day is what scores points and wins games. So they go running back Breece Hall, which usually for me, I'm like running backs are a dime a dozen. You can wait till the later rounds. I hate paying them. But when you get arguably one of the best running backs in the draft, it's hard to argue it. The guy's got speed. He can, he's the yards after the catch. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, which is very important in Mike LaFleur's offense. It's a dynamic. You have your Michael Carter, Breece Hall 1-2 combo in the backfield, which is tremendous. And then you look at how my whole vision for this team as a fan is that you build a young nucleus together. And the Jets are doing exactly that. So now you have Carter and Hall in the backfield. You have Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, two young receivers. You have young offensive linemen. You have Becton. You have Vera Tucker, the young quarterback. You have a young tight end, which we'll talk about in a second, plus the two other tight ends you have. You have a young nucleus growing together. That's how you rebuild your team. So year by year in and year out, they grow, you build chemistry, then you become a playoff team and everything else. So they're doing that. So if you're looking about building around your quarterback, so now you have two good running backs. You address the wide receiver. You address the offensive line. Now, the tight end position's always been something the Jets have lacked forever. They go out in free agency and get two guys that I absolutely love, in Azuma and Conklin, and they go out and get Jeremy Ruckert. And that's another guy where people are saying he could be one of the best tight ends of the draft in the third round. So it's hard to be upset about these things. The Jets are trying to get as many things as possible to help the quarterback, and now they have flexibility in their offense. Because I was always wondering if the Jets would get a fullback or not, but I think these tight ends like Ruckert could be like a hybrid where they go in the backfield, they help block, and that's the other thing. The running game. You want to establish the run. If you can establish the run, time of possession, you're keeping your defense off the field. You're opening up play action pass. You're doing so many things for your quarterback. So getting Ruckert, while I was like, you know what? You could have got Chanel there. You could have did linebacker. Listen, it all makes sense. Like, obviously, in anything you do in life, people can question it. I would have did this. I would have did that. The Jets have a clear and decisive blueprint, or what is it, decisive? I don't know what it is. Concise blueprint for the team. They have a vision what they want to do, and they're just going for it. And I love it. And they're aggressive. Like, the one thing we're always like, will Joe Douglas ever move up? He moved up and got his pass rusher. He went up and got his running back. And the crazy thing is, depending on what analyst you believe, the Jets are getting, the best player at the position at several positions. The corner, a lot of people very high on Garrett Wilson. There were some debates about him and Jamison Williams in London, but very high on him. Jermaine Johnson, tremendous value. Breece Hall could be the best running back in the draft. Now Ruckert could be one of the best tight ends in the draft. You're getting tremendous value. And you walk away saying now, Joe Douglas's first draft, obviously Adam Gase had too much say in it because it was a disaster. There was too much. It just seemed weird. It was lifeless. The picks were okay. But until last year, very solid. This year, again, you're solid. Now you're learning who Joe Douglas is. Now you're finding out what this Jets front office is. They're getting a chance to show their true colors, and they're flying with it. And it's amazing to see so many, respected analysts all throughout the country saying the same things. The Jets got their shit together. The Jets are doing very well in this draft. And then you have former players, Richard Sherman, Antonio Cromartie, Chad Johnson. I mean, everybody's just like, wow, I get the Jets plan. Damian Woody, Lige Douzable. So it's just exciting, man. Like, I cannot wait. I wish the season started tomorrow. And then you're looking at what is the potential of this team. We talked about this last night in the stream. Going into the draft, I kept saying 6 or 7 wins. But now it's like you're starting to buy in a little bit. Like, this team is year 2 for a lot of players. Like, all the young players are coming in. Year 2, they're going to be better. The coach is going to be better. The quarterback should be better, which is where you're all hoping there too. So it's like this should be a very competitive team. Now, I'm not saying win the division, but you know what? Compete for some 8-9 wins. Be in the hunt. Meaningful games in December. Meaningful games in November. I hate talking draft in November, but let's week in and week out. Like, we can give this team our best shot with a good chance to win the game. So I'm excited. I can't wait. Thank you again to everybody that joined us the last 2 days. Obviously, we don't know a lot about the draft, so we just kind of hang out and talk with you guys. But we appreciate the support. I cannot wait for the season. Talk to you later.